Hi Taurus, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your November 2017 Gypsy Tarot Love Spread. I don't know whether I uploaded you guys at all for the mid-month October. I'm ever so sorry, I was just so busy. I just didn't have the time to do everybody. I do apologise. So that's the reason why you and the other earth signs are being uploaded first. This month. So this month we're not going to do a singles and couple separate Love Gypsy Tarot because I'm really busy. So yeah, we're not going to do that. But we're going to just do Gypsy Tarot Love Spread as a whole. You'll also get a general, and if I have time mid-month in November, I'll definitely do mid-month readings. So Universe Spirit, what's coming in for Taurus, Sun, and Rising signs? Show me Taurus, Sun, and Rising signs. What's coming in for Taurus, Sun, and Rising signs for the month of November 2017 in terms of love? I just want to see love for Taurus, Sun, and Rising signs. Show me love for Taurus, Sun, and Rising signs. What's coming in for love for Taurus and Moon, Taurus, Sun, and Rising signs? Just in their love lives, please, in a 21 card Gypsy Tarot spread for November 2017. Show me. Okay, so we're going to split the deck into three. We're going to collect this back up and we're going to start laying the cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Oh. Sorry, I'm a bit anal like that. I really hate it when the cards aren't aligned in the center. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, so you know, your general energies of the lovers in the reverse. This can be unrequited love, it can be cheating, it can be love, sex without love, it can be breakup, separation. There might be a separation due to no contact. But you've got the Eight of Pentacles, which is interesting. The Eight of Pentacles is all about putting work and effort, but I don't think there is any intention of putting any work and effort into this situation. I'm seeing the Lovers card. There is a separation or a division in a relationship due to no contact, but the Eight of Pentacles isn't in reverse, and it doesn't say due to no contact and through lack of effort. Okay. This is a card about putting work and effort into something here. So division I'm seeing here through lack of contact with the Eight of Wands, because this is and it could be blocked as well, because this is the card about blockages when you get the Eight of Wands in the reverse, but usually communication is blocked. Okay, so maybe there's something about division in relationships, maybe with the lover's energy through lack of contact or blocked communication. Could be because of work, something like that with the Eight of Pentacles, or requires work or something like that. We'll see what the energies are in your reading. Around your mental and emotional, well, the situation is about the Star in the reverse. So sometimes the Star in the reverse is the lack of healing in a situation. Sometimes the Star in the reverse is something that one has given up on. So it lacks hope, it lacks potential, it lacks the potential for manifestation in a good way, and that's the Star in the reverse. Sometimes it's an Aquarius individual. Around that, how are you dealing with that mentally and emotionally? Well, the Seven of Swords in the reverse. So the Seven of Swords, I think that you guys, usually when the Seven of Swords shows up, especially I feel within the mental and emotional, it says you're kidding yourself. You know, it's not just a card about somebody else's deception, it's about the deception of the self, especially in thought patterns. But I think with the Seven of Swords in the reverse, mentally and emotionally, I feel that you are starting to free yourself from something. I think that you are starting to see the light around this situation here with the Star card in the reverse. So I was just looking at some other card here. Okay. I just felt that I needed to put down a fourth card on this bottom area here. You know, this is almost like you're working on some form of dispute here, because I am seeing division within a relationship through lack of contact, and you guys might be working your way through a dispute, for example, with an individual. 5 of Wands in the upright. I just felt like the sentence hadn't been finished for some reason there. So I do feel that there is division in a relationship through lack of contact with the 8 of Wands, and you guys might be trying to work your way through working your way through something as a key word with the 8 of Pentacles, through a dispute, which is the 5 of Wands with another individual, and that's because your mental and emotional situation star in the reverse. So this is giving up, lack of hope, failure star in the reverse, needing to heal, not finding any healing, restlessness around a situation. And the 7 of Swords, mentally and emotionally, I think that you're starting to catch up with what's going on here with the 7 of Swords. You're not fooling yourself because it's in your mental and emotional. So I think that you're getting very clear on the situation here. And what's the reason for that? Because of the Ace of Wands in the upright. And that's interesting, that Ace of Wands in the upright, because Ace of Wands is all about new passion and new and hope. And it's really weird that you're getting clear here mentally and emotionally, Taurus, because of the Ace of Wands. Okay, so is somebody already involved in a relationship? Because that Ace of Wands doesn't have to be directed at you. It might be somebody else who's involved in a new passionate relationship with that Ace of Wands energy. Around the present situation, well, there you go, Ace of Cups in the reverse. This is unrequited love or feeling drained in terms of love, with the Ace of Cups energy being the situation. Around that, the present situation for you guys is about a King of Pentacles. So the situation might be that it's unrequited love, but also it's about being drained emotionally. And around that, being drained emotionally being the situation, it's about a King of Pentacles here. Well, why is this King? This could be top tier Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And what's the reason for that with the King of Pentacles showing up here? Well, because of the 5 of Cups, because of loss. Okay, so I think that you guys are feeling upset about somebody who is, I think that this person has hurt you greatly, for some of you Taurians here. And also the King of Pentacles is actually you, all right? But also it could be, it's interesting, if this guy is you, Taurus, because King of Pentacles is a Taurus individual. So the situation's about feeling drained emotionally. Okay, and around that, what you're experiencing in the present, around that drainage of emotion, is the need with the King of Pentacles, perhaps to be responsible with this King of Pentacles, to look at the potential of greater things, perhaps with that King of Pentacles energy showing here, because he's looking at a massive pentacle, and he's looking at the ace, but the biggest Ace of Pentacles. Well, what's the potential for the long term? I think that what you guys are doing, because the situation is that you're feeling unhappy. The Ace of Cups is in the reverse. This is about unrequited love, is this situation. And you guys, as the King of Pentacles, around that, will be perhaps still looking at the potential of this relationship. He's in the upright. Okay, so I think that you're still looking to invest in this thing, Taurus. And that's because you're feeling lost in this situation. 5 of Cups. You're missing the individual. But it's interesting here in your mental and emotional, where you seem to be coming out of some form of deceptive side, time in your life. You seem to be opening up mentally wise, I feel, with this 7 of Swords in the reverse. Because the situation is around giving up on a situation here with the Star. Okay, no longer looking at it in terms of something that could bring through a positive manifestation. And around that, mentally and emotionally, you're not fooling yourself, the 7 of Swords in the reverse. 7 of Swords in the reverse for me, mentally and emotionally, this is about coming into the light. This is about looking at something very clearly and not deceiving oneself. Because of the Ace of Wands, it might actually mean that this actually means an epiphany, because the Ace of Wands isn't all about new relationships. It's actually when an epiphany comes to you. So I feel that there's an epiphany here going on here, or you're starting to come to reality with that 7 of Swords in the reverse. Because I think with the Ace of Wands, it's either that this person's involved in something without somebody else with that Ace of Wands, or you've got some major epiphany, light bulb moment going on with that Ace of Wands showing there. And in the present situation, it's about unrequited love, feeling drained. But around that, I don't think you guys are giving up, because you've got the King of Pentacles here. Okay, the King of Pentacles is somebody who believes in the stability of family, and he wants to grow it, and he believes in the security of union, usually. So around that, you guys are here as the King of Pentacles, looking at this pentacle, looking at the potential for something long term. And why is that? Because I think that you're still missing whoever this individual is with the Five of Cups energy. Around your hopes and desires, the situation is about the High Priest. So the High Priest can, and this is a Taurus card as well, so this is you guys again. So the situation is that you guys are looking at your own conventional wisdom when it comes to relationships. You guys are very much off the thought pattern, I feel, with this situation, that you're paying attention to what you hold true, Taurus, on a very moralistic grounding. And around that, your hopes are. Okay, so I think that this is the culprit here, the King of Swords. I think you're hoping for, I think this is you here, because I'm looking at you looking directly over at this King of Swords. So I think that this is you. This is you, Taurus, here, King of Pentacles, and this is you, Taurus, here, around the mental and around the hopes and desires. The situation is about you. What you hold true as an individual. This is the situation. Where your morals stand in terms of love and relationships. And the situation is also that you guys, I feel, are very committed to that truth that you find within yourselves. And your hopes around that are the King of Swords energy. I think that this is the person that you're hoping for around this. And what's the reason for that? Because of the Ace of Swords. Okay, Ace of Swords is clarity though. And it's interesting. Your reading is really strange. Really strange. Because you seem to be coming into the light mentally here, I feel, with this Seven of Swords in the reverse, and it's around a situation that doesn't hold out much hope because of the Ace of Swords. So perhaps we need to turn this Seven of Swords into something else, because the Seven of Swords mentally, with the Seven of Swords in the upright, it means that you're being very clever and you're being very smart. So maybe you're not being so smart. Maybe because you're still attracted here. We possibly need to turn that Seven of Swords into something else, I feel. Because the reading isn't really telling me much that you guys are coming into the light about anything here, Taurus, to be honest with you. Okay? The Ace of Swords is clarity and truth, but it depends on what your truth is. The Tarot is not cut and dry. The Ace of Swords can be your truth, but it might not be anybody else's. Okay? So I think that your hopes are for a King of Swords here because of the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords can also mean breakthroughs and change. This can also be somewhere along the lines of communication. We'll try and get this reading together as we go along. Around your expectations, well, the Seven of Wands is all about being rejected. So the situation is about a rejection here. Around that, what are you expecting? The Six of Cups. That's interesting. No, we'd need to turn this Seven of Wands around as well. This is about standing your ground. And around that standing your ground, you're expecting the Six of Cups, reconnection with this individual. And what's the reason for that? Because of the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so we can read now the Six of Pentacles is about balance, harmony, but also give and take. I often read the Six of Pentacles in terms of it being about one-sided relationships or somebody who's not investing enough. And it could be, because you guys here, the situation might be around you, Taurus, standing your ground with that Seven of Wands. And around that, you might be expecting the reconnection with this individual because of the Six of Pentacles. Maybe this person's not been investing enough and you've been investing more than this individual. So you're going to be standing your ground on that. Around the hidden aspects, we have the Queen of Swords. So this suggests somebody is cutting somebody out here. Around being the situation, around that, what you can expect to come in is the Queen of Cups energy. So this is around emotional stuff. So the Queen of Cups is all about intuition and our feelings. But we sit in truth as a Queen of Cups in terms of feelings. So the situation is cutting someone out. But around that, what you will not see coming in, or what you don't know that is coming in, is your intuition is starting to kick in with this Queen of Cups energy. And what's the reason for that? Because you realise that this relationship possibly has nowhere to go. Six of Wands in the reverse is lack of victory. And also you recognise that this person's not recognising you. Six of Wands in the reverse says, you know, you're not gaining recognition from an individual or from a group of people. All right, they don't really hold you. And also the Six of Wands in the reverse is where you're not being admired or taken notice of. So I feel that what'll come in, what you'll recognise coming in, Taurus, is that there's going to be a situation where you're going to have to sit in your logic rather than your emotion. Okay, and this is about cutting this individual out. And around that situation, what we see coming in, the unexpected factors or the hidden factors are showing about you guys. Around this mental clarity of the Queen of Swords, this is all about your intuition. kicking in here. So your intuition is going to be telling you, you know, maybe I just need to cut this person out, because this person's not recognizing my value with this Six of Wands in the reverse. They don't even recognize me half the time. And even though here in your expectations it's about standing your ground, Seven of Wands isn't always about rejection. Sometimes it's about holding on and protecting and defending something. So I feel that around your expectations, it's about holding on and defending your place, standing in your power with that Seven of Wands, in which you'll expect reconnection here, because this person has only been giving you partially or part of their time, not all of it. But the hidden factors are saying here, you're going to come to realize something here. The situation is about coming to reality with the Queen of Swords, coming to the truth, cutting someone out potentially, because around that being the situation, what you'll see coming in is your intuition around this. Your intuition saying, well, this is something I'm going to need to do, because this person doesn't really hold me in high regard with that Six of Wands in the reverse. Your immediate future shows the Page of Cups in the reverse. Somebody's isolating themselves from love, but also this shows rejection being the situation. Around that, what will come in is the Knight of Swords. Okay, so there's a rejection showing up here as the situation, and what will manifest from that, I feel, is anger with this Knight of Swords energy. Knight of Swords can be anger and rage, and what's the reason for that? Because of the Knight of Wands energy. So we could read this all sorts of ways, I guess. Alright, I'm seeing the situation as you guys being rejected in this situation, and I feel around that will be that rejection coming in. What you'll find manifesting from that rejection is anger and restlessness. Okay, it's difficult to read your reading for some reason. I'm trying to get a handle on it. So I've just gone quiet for a moment because I'm just trying to collect my thoughts on some of this stuff. Yeah, no, this isn't anger. This is the Page of Cups is the situation, and around that situation there is a Knight of Swords. Somebody who's very fleeting. They go with what they feel they should be doing at the present time, and that's because they're a Knight of Wands. They were never in it for the long haul. Knight of Wands is a saying with the Knight of Wands, likes to depart, never likes to arrive. So I think that you've got somebody around you with these two knights here. If this is you, if the situation is around rejection, around that rejection, it might be that there is somebody that comes in that you're not interested in potentially, because this could be easily you rejecting somebody here with this Page of Cups. You're not really emotionally inclined to them, and around that rejection we're finding a Knight of Swords showing up. This is the situation, this is what's around the situation, this is what the situation is about, this Knight of Swords. So some of you guys might be rejecting this Knight of Swords character because they're a player, or this person might be rejecting you because they're a player. But I'm seeing somebody rejecting somebody else because they are a player and they're not in it for the long haul. The overall outcome shows, well, you've got heartbreak here, Three of Swords. Around that heartbreak, the overall outcome will be the Four of Swords energy. Now the Four of Swords energy is where somebody is coming out of a time of solitude and they've made a decision, when you get the Four of Swords in the reverse. And what's the reason for that Four of Swords? Because of the High Priestess. I think this is your decision to make, Taurus, to be perfectly honest with you. I think the overall outcome, the situation is about heartbreak, making head over heart decisions here, and around that you guys make a definite decision with that Four of Swords in the reverse. There's no kind of sitting back and contemplating at all. What you're doing is making a definite decision, and that's based on the High Priestess, just to withdraw. The High Priestess can show withdrawal. Shows a lonely person, a single person, but somebody who wants to withdraw. They need contentment, they need peace of mind. Often the Tower, she's one of the lonely cards within the Tower, or somebody who's withdrawing from a situation, somebody who's isolating themselves. I think you make a decision to withdraw from it with the High Priestess energy. We'll get this reading again. It's very interesting just to see the difference. This is you here, Knight of Pentacles, and this is you, the High Priestess, I feel here, Taurus. And this is the person that you're hoping for with the King of Swords. But you know, it depends really, because this could be the person that you're hoping for, but it could also be because this is you guys, the high priest in the situation around your hopes. And I would say also with this high priest as Taurus, as you guys, that this is you sitting in your morals, in your set of beliefs. You've got a very strong moralistic code going on here as the situation, and around that hope, it would be perhaps with the King of Swords to emotionally distance yourself if this isn't the person, because you know the truth. Ace of Swords is all about the truth. However, for some of you guys, it might be that the situation is about you guys committing, and around that the hopes would be around the King of Swords. So this is the situation about committing with the High Priest, and your hopes around that commitment. This is the situation, well, what's it about? It's about a King of Swords, committing to a King of Swords, because of the Ace of Swords energy. Some of you guys might feel this person's a soulmate. They're destined to be your other half with that Ace of Swords showing there. And also in your expectations as well. It would flow better like that for me, I feel. Because in your expectations, why would your hope be to cut somebody out and then you'd expect this? I would expect your expectations would be this, the hopes would be this, and expectations would be this. So I do feel the hopes are for an individual here because of the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords also means victory, success, finding the one. It's certain. It is for sure. I feel some of you guys feel that you found a soulmate, potentially. And you're expecting, well, if I stand in my power, if I hold on to this situation, there will be a reconnection here with the Six of Cups, because of the Six of Cups energy. Give and take, I guess we could look at that as now. Turn those words around. But you're going to come to reality that this isn't going to happen here. And one of you is going to this is you or the other person. There's a rejection card showing us a situation. And around that situation, you'll experience the Knight of Swords. Somebody who's quite fleeting because they're a Knight of Wands. We'll get this reading again. Very interesting reading, Taurus. We'll get it down pat for you now. I'm seeing severance in a relationship so far. I think because of a lack of communication with this Eight of Wands in the reverse. But I feel that Taurus, because this is your card, the Eight of Pentacles, I think that you're still trying to work on possibly resolving an issue with that Five of Wands. It's not in the reverse to say it's resolving, but you're still trying to work on, or you're still putting effort into a dispute, because this is about putting effort in the Eight of Pentacles in love, and this is often a dispute. So what I'm seeing is the energies around you, severance in a relationship in which there is no contact. But you guys still putting effort into this dispute. You're still a part of it here. You're still trying to make something work that's not working here, Taurus. Around your mental and emotional, we've got the Star in the reverse. So this is a situation that really doesn't have any hope at the moment, and there's no healing over it. Around this, mentally and emotionally, the Seven of Swords in the reverse. I don't think you're thinking smart. I have to turn the words around now to say clarity. We went from clarity to saying something else. So I don't think the thinking is smart here with the Seven of Swords. You're not thinking, because the Seven of Swords, in terms of how you think, this is, if it was in the upright, this would be somebody who's very smart, very intelligent with that Seven of Swords in the upright. But I feel because we're looking at it mentally and emotionally, I now would probably turn this around and say I don't think that your thinking is very smart on this situation, and that's because you're being blinded by your attraction for this individual with the Ace of Wands energy. In your present situation, while it's about unrequited love with the Ace of Cups, feeling drained emotionally, and around that energy, you guys, I feel, are still investing in this thing. The King of Pentacles. I think that you're trying to be responsible, but at the same time, the King of Pentacles, he tends to be the type of person who wants stability and security in relationship. And when he thinks he's found the one, he thinks he's found the one, and that's that for him. He's a one-woman man in the upright, usually, if he's aspected by good cards. So around this unrequited love in your present situation, you guys are possibly looking at trying to make some improvements with that King of Pentacles energy, because King of Pentacles is all about making improvements. And that's because I feel that you're still lost and upset over this individual emotionally with the Five of Cups. In your hope section, well, this is you guys again, the High Priest, and I think you're sitting in your very strong moral code over this relationship, and around that your hopes are for a King of Swords, an individual. So this is about the situation being about commitment as well, and it is, I feel, around this commitment of being the situation with the High Priest that you guys, the situation, your hopes are manifesting as the King of Swords. Excuse me, you're hoping for a King of Swords because of the Ace of Swords. And I feel that this is more about feeling that this person is your soulmate, that this is a relationship that was meant to be. It was for sure, it was for certain. When you get the Ace of Swords sometimes in a love relationship, it's not all about cutting people out or getting to the truth of a matter. It's because something you feel is the truth, and the Ace of Swords is the truth. So sometimes when you get it in a love reading, it can signify maybe a soulmate union or somebody who is meant for you. So it's almost like you feel that this person is the truth, this relationship is the truth, and it's meant to be in this area here. And therefore your expectations are, well, if you stand in your power, if you continue to defend this relationship, you'll expect it to come back to you with that Six of Cups, because you guys, with the Six of Pentacles, can work on it being a give and take relationship. In your hidden factors, though, I feel the situation will be about coming to the truth with this Queen of Swords energy and making decisions based on that truth through fairness and logic. And around that, what you can't see coming in is the Queen of Cups energy. Intuition hitting you strong with that Queen of Cups, and that's because this person doesn't even recognize who you are, Taurus. They're not supporting you. They don't recognise you as anything probably of value in a way with that Six of Wands in the reverse. The immediate future shows a rejection, Page of Cups in the reverse. Around that it's about a King of Swords. Sorry, Knight of Swords. Somebody who's very fleeting. They're in and out. Because they're a Knight of Wands. They're also very sterile emotionally. They go for quick relationships or relationships that feel good at the time, but they can't sustain it. That's because they're a Knight of Wands. Again, Knight of Wands goes with all of the enthusiasm, but sometimes it burns out just as quickly. This person likes to be on the move. They like to depart, but never arrive. They don't really like sticking around. The overall outcome is the situation is about heartbreak and disappointment with the Three of Swords. Around that heartbreak and disappointment, the overall outcome will be the needing to make a definite decision with the Four of Swords in the reverse. And the reason for that is the High Priestess. You guys are also acting on your intuition with this High Priestess, that what you need to do is to withdraw completely and isolate yourself from the situation. So I'm seeing you guys isolating yourself from a situation. I think that you'd really like to still invest in it, Taurus, but I don't think it's something that you can do, because I feel that even though you feel, for some of you guys, that this person really is a soulmate and it's meant to be and they are the truth, you're one of the same, you're one of the same, you know, you're the same, different parts of the same coin. I feel that eventually you have to recognise that maybe for some of you guys, especially in this area here, that this is your thoughts but not necessarily the other person's thoughts. And this is the thing I always say about twin flame soulmate readings that people get, or you see on Facebook people advertising these things, and that's fine, that's cool. I do kind of believe in the twin flame soulmate thing, but no, I do believe in it, but I also feel, my take on those things, as I always say, is that sometimes it can be in the person's own head. So you can, you know, unless somebody tells you that they feel the same as you, that they are your soulmate, or they are your twin flame, and they can be still your twin flame soulmate, but sometimes you're the only one that will recognise it. This person's not recognising something about you here, and yet I feel here your hopes are for a union with this individual, because the situation is around a union with the High Priestess energy, and around that union your hopes are for a King of Swords. But that's because of the Ace of Swords. You feel that this person is the truth. You feel that this is a soulmate connection that you and this individual really have, which is why you're working on this dispute here, despite there being severance and fallings out, or you know, a one-sided relationship. I feel with this Lovers in the reverse, because of a lack of interest with this Eight of Wands, lack of contact, somebody blocking you out, you're still working on this dispute. You're still working towards it because you feel that this person's the truth. But the problem is that in the hidden factors, this person's not the truth, and you are gradually starting to see the truth here, and your intuition's kicking in, that this person's not recognizing you. They're not behind you, they're not recognizing you. And I feel that, you know, this rejection here, the Page of Cups being the situation, because around that the situation is the Knight of Swords. So somebody is being they might be saying something to you as well. They might be quite abusive, for example, with that Knight of Swords energy, known as the bully boy of the tarot, because they might say, look, we're not in anything because, you know, this isn't a tight thing between us. You know, I want to go out searching for other girls or other guys. I'm not really into this at the moment. I don't want to commit to you. And I'm seeing that you want to commit to somebody, Taurus, but somebody doesn't want to commit to you. And they might even tell you that with the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is not backwards with coming forward. He'll tell you exactly what he thinks. It's another communication card. Okay, so it might be the situation with the Page of Cups is bad news in the reverse. Or, as I've said, rejection, or somebody who's isolating themselves emotionally, because around that, it might be that somebody's being very, very upfront with you communication-wise, because they're a player. They don't want to be in it. And they might even be telling you this. And that's why you've got the situation as the Three of Swords. Heartbreak. And around that heartbreak, what you'll experience overall is making a definite decision based on your intuition, but not just intuition, but based on the need to kind of heal and just take things back a little bit with the High Priestess energy, just to love yourself a little bit more with that that High Priestess energy, just taking time to do your own thing with the High Priestess energy. I do feel that some of you guys are more invested than somebody else, and you really, for some of you guys, have it on lockdown that this person is the one. But what I was saying is about soulmate relationships and twin flames is sometimes it can be in the person's head that you're a twin flame, or that this person is, and that's fine. But for me, twin flames are people that come into our lives to teach us something about ourselves. Because sometimes what you feel, if you're a spiritual person, you'll know about the twin flame analogy or the twin flame idea, but some people don't. You know, you can get involved with someone and it's great, and you know, you're meant to be together, and it's, you know, it's for you, and this person is definitely your lifelong partner, but that person might be out dating 2, 3, 4, 5 girls or boys, and they might not be recognizing a thing. And that's where I think the lack of attention to you comes in, because I think this person's a player and they're doing other things, and they're not. You're focused on this person, you're here, you're still invested, and you're still wanting improvements in the present around this unrequited love here, because you're emotionally still invested with that Five of Cups, and you're crying over it and you're upset. And here your hopes are, well, yeah, I'm standing in my moral ethics, but also I'm standing in my spiritual truth as a high priest, being the situation. And around that, your hopes are, well, yeah, this King of Swords will see the light, because, yeah, we're meant to be together with the Ace of Swords. This is the truth. This is the truth. And you will expect to come together with this individual, because it can be a give and take relationship. But what you're not seeing coming in is you're going to come to reality with this Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Intuition and logic are going to come together into one, that this person, they're not even contacting you, half of you here. So there's no real connection for this person here, and yet you work on this dispute. You work on this problem. Yet still you work on it, despite the person not contacting you. You're still in your head saying, this is the person for me. But I think towards the end of November, Taurus, you're going to come to reality on this situation, that actually this person is not as invested as you are in the situation going forward. Let's have a look at what your advice is. Universe Spirit, what's the advice you have for Taurus on this reading? Oops, I can't take all 4 cards, I'm afraid. Oops. There you go. Release your ex was the one that I picked there. Okay. I mean, yeah, this person is a soulmate, probably. Past life relationship. So, yeah, they're probably... It says release your ex. And, yes, this person is a soulmate. I will use all of the cards because of the way they fell out. So, the universe is telling you on this reading, Taurus, yes, you've got to release your ex, okay? Because even though they're a soulmate and you've known them in a past life, you actually do deserve love. Okay? So yeah, you can have a soulmate, but the problem is it doesn't mean that just because we use the analogy or the term soulmate that everything's hunky-dory in the garden. Because unfortunately some people come into our lives and they cause us a huge amount of pain. But that pain that somebody will cause you actually helps you to start making improvements going forward. Okay, that's your reading, my darlings. I would like to say thanks ever so much for joining me on Carol's Universe, and I will see you guys on your generals. Take care.